Hello, everybody. Well, here we are. Let me, I'm going to turn these things off. If I can get them to turn off. There we go. Take these things out of my ear because I can't hear. That gets on my nerves. All right. Well, you seen us put the seals on. I went ahead and put the bearings on. You basically just cut you a piece of tubing that fits the center race, push them on there. So I'm going to try to put the bottom end together while in one shot here. So I'm not going to beat around the bush a whole lot. I'm going to throw a little bit of grease in here. Try to keep it out of the middle. And some people say use Vaseline. I've heard that a lot. I always use grease. Vaseline might be better, I don't know. I have used Vaseline years ago. They say it washes out faster than the grease does. I said, well, as long as it's lubricated, what difference does it make whether it's grease or Vaseline? Lubricated is lubricated. To me, anyway. I don't know how aggravating this will be because it's not. This is not always the easiest thing in the world to do. And I'm pretty sure there's 24. I mean, I know there's 24 bearings here. I was asking Brian earlier, and he said 24 for everything except one certain saw, like a D44 or something, and it had 23. So I counted, and I had 24. Now, if we can put this together. I've already went ahead and lubricated things. Pistons oiled and all of that. And basically we're just gonna try to cram it down in there. That's what we want to do, is just stuff it down in there as far as it'll go. And remotely straight. Now, getting this crank in ain't always the easy part. I've heard people say you do it this way, you do it that way. Well, we're going to do it this way. Whichever way we wind up doing it. That's how we're going to do it. Put it in hopefully the right way. I might set this down here so I can see a little better. Most time these things go pretty decent. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. We're going to take this piece of tubing here. We're going to tap on the end of it. Tell how many bearings we're losing. I'll count them all again here in a minute. Let me turn it over here where I can see better. I got my camera tight. Come on now, don't be knocking my bearings up. Probably should have waited. Might have to back up and punt. My rod keeps popping around in there. It's gonna knock all my bearings out. Knock all my bearings out. I've got just a little bit more to go before it's in there. I'm just trying not to get plumb rowdy on it. Just a little light tappy tap, tap, tap. I know, I got y'all shining down in there because it's hard for me to see with it up on the table. Looks like y'all stayed in there. Well, ain't that something? It's a miracle. Sometimes I put the bearings in after I put the crank in. Either one's just about as hard as the other one. But the way you can tell whether you got all your bearings in is it sets flush across the cap, which it does. So we got that in there. We're going to put a little grease on this cap. See if we can't put the rest of the bearings in there. I'm trying to keep the grease out of the holes because I'm going to put a little dab of blue Loctite on it when I put these bolts in. Because I like for them to stay in. They just run better. Trying to get all these things to stick in here ain't always the easiest thing to do. And showing it on camera makes it even more fun. If you can get them to stick to your fingers, you're doing good. They'll stick on there and stay. You're doing real good. And if we can get that to slip up in there like that, stay, then that will be great. Yeah. That's better. Now, if you don't know, I'm going to show you right quick. Notice on this side of the rod, there's no dots. When you turn it around to this side, see this dot right here? And when you look at this rod cap, there's a dot on that side right there. There's a corresponding dot on the other side of the rod. So, I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Let me set this on here and I'll try to show it to you then. All right. Now, one thing we are putting in this one, these are monster bolts from monsterbolts.com or something like that. I don't even know exactly, but I don't know the whole spiel of it, but these are supposed to be the most asbestos strongest bolts that there are for these saws. So I ordered them, and that's what I use them. Well, it's just better when the rod bolts stay in there. Makes the experience a lot more enjoyable. When the rod bolts come out, it ain't no fun. Now I'm gonna give them a good torquing by hand. Not sure exactly what these torque at. I think it's something like 26 or 28 inch-pounds. There we go. Now, I'm going to try to show you. See them two dots? There's the dot I showed you on the cap, and there's the dot on the crank. And them two dots have to line up because they shear these rods. There's the original rod bolts that came out of it. We'll save them using for something else, but not a rod. We'll put them in a piece of machinery or something for cover bolts or something like that. And they'll work just fine for that. All right, now put the lid back on the grease. I can figure out what I did with the grease. There it is. I meant to dig the screws up for this thing, but I have not. Sorry, y'all. Sometimes I forget to do things. Not even. I may have to go in here and dig through these. I may have to go watch the video so I can figure out which bolts come out of. Of course, we might change them, because I don't really like them bolts anyway. They were straight screws. They were straights. Let me get some Allen screws. I'll bring y'all back.